What's going on, everybody? Wow, that's a good start. What's going on, everybody? Today is Monday, May 20th, 2024. I'm just realizing now it's actually probably a different day where you are, Ferris.
Yes, Tuesday for us.
Yeah, Tuesday for Ferris, yes. Yes, we are here to talk more Survivor 46, and we are joined with an incredibly special guest, the most recent winner of Australian Survivor, Mr. Ferris Basal, winner of Australian Titans versus Rebels. Super excited to talk about our version of the show with you and get your opinions. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I've been really passionate about this season. Whether it's good passionate or bad passionate, I'm still passionate about the season. So I'm excited to get into all these things, including, I'm still not over the whole Applebee's situation, by the way.
Oh my God.
I don't think any of us are.
Yeah, I've got 4 different Americans explaining to me what the hell Applebee's is. So I'm still wrapping my head around that. So please, don't judge. But I'm so excited.
No, I think the answer to that question will be underwhelming.
Well, I really can't wait to get into it all. I feel a little bad because I'm totally underprepared because I didn't know for sure if you would be here or not. So I'm going to play the opening credits and I don't have you in there and I'm so sorry.
Oh no.
But here we go. Let's kick it off. All right. Now, my name is John Dunphy Hussein, of course, fake husband to Jamila Hussein. And I'm joined, as always, by my fellow tribe mates, Mr. Kyle Betty Basal, Mr. Mikey Marmon, Miss Gina Morgino Davis, and King Ferris Basal Morgino
right.
Dunphy Marmon
That's
Petty.
right.
There it is.
We're Strat Chat, your favorite reality TV podcast, so check us out on the socials. And that's all I'm saying tonight. Let's get into this. I don't even know where to start. I guess I just want to get your thoughts, I feel like, about Survivor 46. That's like what I want this whole podcast to be like, what do you think? Like, any initial thoughts on the overall season, I guess, before we get into anything specific?
I think the second half is a lot better than the first half, mainly because I didn't understand the first half of like every bit of it. So after merge, I was like, okay, now I'm getting quite comfortable and I like it. And this is what Survivor should be. So I think the second half is definitely better than the first. 5 people going home with idols. Explain yourselves, Americans, right now.
And 4 in a row.
It's
4 in a
unbelievable.
row.
Unbelievable.
Sorry, go for it.
Sorry. No, I was just going to say that what's crazy to me about it, it's 5 people, is that like 4 of them went into a tribal with people saying their names. You know, like the only one that I could even give an excuse to, and not because she is my fake wife, but is Jem, because this was pre-merge. She thought she was working with Maria and Charlie, who turned on her. Like, of course, like I give her a little bit more leniency and not using the idol.
Sure.
But the last 4 people all went into tribal councils with people saying their names. How does not one person play an idol?
It's so funny. Sorry, Carl, just to cut you off very quickly, but whenever I speak to an American about this season and about specifically the idols, it's almost like they owe me an explanation. Because
it's always in defense of. We're embarrassed.
Yeah, they're like, look, I'm like, that's us. I'm sorry. Like 5 people, they've gone home with an idol. Like, you need to do something about this. So it's almost like they feel really, really bad that they have to explain to me the idol situation. But no, it's entertaining. At least it's entertaining, like, for us as viewers. So that's what I'm taking out of this. It is so freaking entertaining, but what the hell is going on? I've got no idea.
I mean, entertaining, but so frustrating. I'm like screaming at my TV at these people.
Right. Is it entertaining at this point? Like, I was so annoyed. Like, when I realized he wasn't going to play it, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, again?
Yeah.
Like, it's just getting tiresome. Because you're not even taking your own advice.
Yep.
Right.
Every single person keeps saying, I'm not going to be the person to leave with an idol in my pocket. And you're literally the next one out. It's like, come on. Like,
Yeah, it's with Q especially too, because like his name has been up there the entire time. Like he's been in danger for tribal after tribal after tribal. And he watched 3 people go home with idols in their pockets. So I can't wrap my mind around why. I don't know. I can't understand it.
It seems like at this point, if you do find an idol, you're the next one going home.
It's a
Not
curse.
because you have an idol, by the way, but because that's just what the season is.
Yeah.
I did laugh too because I think it was Puya from Rob Has a Podcast tweeted. He was like, "Oh, Q found an idol, so by the laws of Survivor 46, that means we're losing him tonight." Like just as like a joke. And then it happened, and he was like, "This aged like a fine wine. I cannot believe that that's what happened."
That's hilarious.
It's a disgrace. Is what it is.
I mean,
It
It's
is.
the problem I'm having, that not enough people are cross-checking conversations. I don't know what that's the biggest standout I saw of this season, that people aren't having fake conversations. Like, why isn't Q having chats with Charlie? And like, the way I see it is, doesn't Q see Charlie and look at him and think to himself, why the fuck is he so confident tonight? Like, why is Charlie so? I'm confident, but why is Charlie confident? And what's the story with Charlie? Who's Charlie going to put down? Like, these conversations aren't happening. Like, they're just not happening, which was a big part of Titans versus Rebels. You'd hear something, and then you'd go to the next person, and then you'd start having these conversations, and you try to catch someone out in a lie. Or at least, if you're good enough at reading people, you can catch someone out on the spot. And if you weren't, you will just have another conversation with the second person and match up the stories. Like, these things aren't happening. I don't know why. I don't know if this is a this season thing or an American Survivor thing. But
I would challenge that maybe it is kind of an American Survivor thing, but only as of this new era. Because I would charge that whole argument back with, I feel like everyone's big focus is, what is my move? What can I put down as my big resume building move, that we're not looking to some of those other things, a little bit more nuanced, like just building those relationships and building up some trust, taking a look at people and saying, oh, why are you so confident? They're so blinded, and well, not even blinded. They're so consumed with, I got to do something big. I got to do something big, that we're not looking at, I don't even like to say the smaller things, because it's not a small thing. It's a big deal. But again, we're just consumed with trying to have like a bullet point on the resume.
And again, it's like oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, it feels like an overconfidence problem too with Q, especially with Venus. Like, they are just so confident in the fact that their games are amazing, that they're the only one playing, that it feels like they're not even thinking about what the other people that are playing the game. Like, they're so confident in what they're doing that it's the only thing that matters to them.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great way to put it too. Because you have to be confident in the game, but not to the point where you're like not doing the things that you're supposed to win the game. It's almost not even confidence. It's like some weird sense of cockiness that nobody has earned.
Yeah, agree. I don't
it's
know.
Just since you haven't really played Survivor yet, really, half of these people.
But see. But then comes like the other question, like should Q have even told Maria about his idol in a top 6? And ironically, because he did tell her, she comes back knowing this information, saying, "Don't worry, you're safe, you're all good," which she actually meant. But that was the reason why he didn't play it, because he was so confident. So he didn't tell Maria about his idol. He didn't tell anyone, and just left it to himself to make his own judgments. He probably would have played the idol. Who knows? So like, there's so many factors involved in it, and the fact that you're putting all your eggs in one basket in one person and literally not speaking to anyone else, to me, is a rookie move. Yeah, especially in a top 6 as well. Like, crazy. But I love Q. I love watching him on my screen. Let me make that
he made tribals so entertaining. Say what you will about the guy. The reason those tribals were as fun as they were was because he was stirring the pot.
100%.
Chaos, yeah.
I just need to know, Ferris, would you buy a Q skirt?
You know what's funny? My hoodie that I took on the island looks exactly the same as Q's hoodie. So I could possibly have the original Q skirt. Honestly,
Wow.
same as well. I don't know how we did it exactly. You know what? You guys speak. Let me try finding it.
Like I had it first. I didn't have the name.
Yeah, you
but
should
I
have
had it
copywritten
first.
that shit, man. Damn.
That's so funny.
And even if he finds it, he can certainly sell his for more. I mean, he won. He didn't go out at 6. Your name might be on it, but who's making the money? You know,
Right.
like Ronald McDonald and the franchisee
Oh,
owner.
there it is.
There it
It
is.
looks exactly like his hoodie as well. This is the hoodie I wore on the island. How did he do it?
Is this like an official
Yeah.
Survivor issued hoodie? Like this is just something we give the people.
It still smells like the fire on the island.
I was gonna ask, have you washed it, or is it still?
No, I did wash it, but it's just not coming out.
Just built in.
It doesn't come out.
Mm.
The fabric
Yeah.
is the smoke. The smoke is.
There you go.
There it is.
Come on,
Wow.
Q
There
skirt.
baby.
That looks
For a
horrible.
low price of $42.95 Australian.
Oh my god.
Wow. I'm actually so happy that it just happened.
You guys are the best content here.
I love that for us.
All right. I know that one of the things you said you were still thinking about was the Applebee's thing. And I'm just curious. I feel like this will kind of lead to a bigger. I'm curious what you think about certain reward challenges and stuff, and the difference. But like, I know you specifically mentioned like the Applebee's stuff. So, give us your thoughts.
Firstly, I don't understand. Is it a restaurant? Is it a fast food chain? Is it healthy? Is it not? Because there's apple in it, but there's burgers in. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but what I'm sensing is it's a place where you can order anything. Is that
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it's
basically.
like
It's like Outback Steakhouse, but for Americans.
Oh, that sounds horrible.
It is.
Yeah, it's not good.
No.
Don't get
It's
twisted.
garbage. They don't even have chefs. They just cook everything in a microwave back in the
that
kitchen.
sounds disgusting.
Backstage.
It's gross. It's amazing at midnight.
Right.
When
Right.
you're drunk,
Yeah, exactly. They do half-priced apps. You get $1
The way that I was Saturday night,
yeah.
Applebee's would have been perfect.
Yeah, the dream.
Yeah.
There are also some videos. So Applebee's is really famous for having this promotion every now and again, like these $1 drinks, like, $1 margarita, $1 this. And there are many, many videos on the interwebs of the employees making said $1 drinks in big, large, like white buckets, like cleaning buckets, right? They have to take a hose and they squirt it in the bucket and they stir it up real good. And then they just take your glass and just scoop it out of there. It's like, that's what you get for $1.
That sounds disgusting.
Yeah, that's Applebee's.
Yeah.
All right, that's our tier 1 sponsor for
Yeah, we
American
just-
Survivor.
Just to give you a hint, we refer to it as Crapplebees out here in
Yeah,
these parts.
Yeah.
That makes a lot more
Yeah.
sense.
Applebee's is a good illustration of America as a whole.
I will say though, the rewards are great. I think they're great. The rewards, like the past couple of rewards I've seen, like at least compared to our season was horrible with rewards. So, I would love.
No, what do you mean? Mark got a car.
Oh yeah, a car.
We don't give cars. We give like twice
Kyle-
warmed over bourbon
Kyle,
burgers and
the rewards I had was a kid's birthday party and some finger food. That's
Right.
it. These
And-
guys are
yeah,
And
having
a toothbrush. You got a
and
toothbrush.
the food that was served at the kid's birthday party is Applebee's.
okay. So
Yes,
tell-
Our big prize is the one that you were like, this was crap. Yeah.
I think too, though,
Applebee's.
part of it is like I feel like on your season on Australian Survivor in general, like there's usually a chance to get an idol or an advantage or something at these rewards where that opportunity isn't really given in like these big rewards here. Like you don't get to like search through all the fries and find an idol at the bottom, which is.
But I feel like American Survivor already throws enough advantages.
That's true.
Nowadays,
yeah.
Which that's a whole other
Fair
thing we
point.
could get into. What do you think about, especially early in the season? It has frustrated me. I know we've talked about it here that it frustrates people, but like right in the beginning, you start off with these tiny tribes of 6 people, and then you got people losing votes left and right. And like, things like that, or like maybe you can gain a vote, or you have to go on this journey. It's just like I feel like it's gotten a little too twisty. I don't like all the twists. It doesn't feel like just Survivor to me, really, at a certain point.
I completely agree. I think scrap all of that out. Like it doesn't. And the reason why I say that only because of the amount of people there are. In the 3 tribes, 666, and you're also taking away votes and you're putting in advantages. You're not letting players play. You're not letting players become like legends of the game. You realize we start to love people so much more, like these characters so much more after merge when they actually start to play like that. This is why we've fallen in love with Q towards the end, because we're like, holy shit, this is like Q, like this is him feeling under pressure. This is how he acts when he feels under pressure, or this is how he's at tribal, or this or that. We would have never seen any of this in the beginning because, you know, Q was in a majority, a very easy majority, by the way. And he just sat back and we didn't get to see Q be Q. We only saw Q be Q after merge. So the fact that we're almost like stripping players away, and there's 6 people per tribe, like either bump up the numbers or stop taking away votes, because we can't watch legends being born when they can't even play the fucking game because of, you know, all these advantages and stuff. So, and I also think if you just happen to be on the wrong side of an alliance of just 3 people, like all you need to be is on the outs of 3 people, and you're gone home. Like how does that show someone that they can, you know, come from the bottom and, you know, go to the top, or vice versa? It's what we love about Survivor, because one day you're at the bottom, the other day you're at the top. You just can't do that with a tribe of 6 people. You absolutely can't. All you need to do is find 2 other people or 3 other people that would work with you for the next 2-3 tribal councils, and you're sweet. You're into merge pretty much. So to me, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's giving the players the tools to become, you know, amazing players and pitch an amazing case at the end. That's why the second half will always be better than the first, because we can actually start to see, like Maria, for example. Who the hell knew of Maria before merge?
Yep.
Nobody.
Not much.
Yeah, at all. Until merge happened, then everyone was like, oh, holy crap, Maria's a great player. She's a great social player. You know, she is the biggest player right now. We only saw that until, like, what? 2 episodes left? Like, I don't know.
To me, we talk about that too, because it's like, when the tribes are so small, as soon as one tribe starts losing, they are now at a huge disadvantage. So that tribe typically continues to lose. So the other 2 tribes don't really get to play the game at all until merge. You know, like the only things that we would see from, was it Sega, I think, was them all just like hanging out on the beach, hanging out and like being friends, because they haven't had to like politic against each other.
Yeah. Like,
it's
imagine.
interesting what.
Sorry, Mike. Go for it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's interesting what you say too about not letting legends be born, because it really does feel like we haven't, in this new era of American Survivor, we haven't gotten a Boston Rob. We don't have an Ozzy. There's no Sandra. There's no George. There's no Ferris. There's no like these big names that like came out of Survivor in the olden days. Like we haven't really had someone with that amount of like popularity.
100%. Like,
because nobody's playing. Even with the smaller tribes, you have so many situations where people are losing their votes and this, that, and the other thing. You can get to merge and have somebody who never voted once, and it's like that's whack. Like that should never be. Like, even as a viewer, it's not fun. I liked, like, with. Well, I mean, I want to just say Titans vs. Rebels is really just all of them with a 2-tribe format. I enjoy that you can be watching one game and then you're like, wait a minute, the other side lost, there's a whole different set of dynamics and like a whole political structure going on here that I almost forgot about. And it gets exciting to dive back into that other side. You know, this, so few people, sometimes there's only like 3 people voting. It's like, well, who cares? Like, that's not even like fun to watch. Doesn't feel like stakes are very high. It all feels very predictable. And then they get to merge and it's like, oh, well, I don't really know what to do. Well, of course not. This is basically your first tribal. Yeah,
and it does feel like segments. So when you're actually on the show, when I was at Merge, I was thinking back to like my first week and thinking like, far out, I was such an amateur in that first week. But that's because we got tested multiple times at Tribal Council. We got tested with, you know, even if it's like something small, like arguments or like how to fire back or how to get numbers, like. And then I think to myself, like, fuck, I've come such a long way. Whereas in these people, they can't really say that. Like if Maria went to Tribal Council from the get-go, imagine how much of a better player she'd be up until this point if she's like this now. And it's because, you know, you've been tested multiple times. You know the small things when people are lying. For example, if Charlie's lying to me, he's acting this way. But I never got to see that because Charlie's never been to Tribal Council before.
Right.
These things. And that's what makes the game fun. Like the same thing with Kitty. Like I knew Kitty when she was lying, like after 2 Tribal Councils. I'm like, oh, it's so clear when Kitty lies, or it's so clear when this person lies. And we want to catch on to these things. It's just unfortunate we don't see it.
Yeah. And something else that you said, Ferris, about the smaller tribes, less numbers, not, you know, letting players really play or become legends in the game. You know, like I think about like a tribe like Nami on this season of Strive 46. They literally did not go to a single tribal council before the merge. The only person they lost was Randon due to a medical reason. And I think of somebody like Venus, right? Was on the bottom the entire time. The entire time. She would have been gone the first tribal council that they went to if they had to go pre-merge.
Yeah.
The only reason she didn't leave was because of the fact that they never went to tribal. And then when we got to merge, Venus's relationships never really got any better with anybody, but the game opened up enough that she was able to outlast Tevin, Soda, Hunter. It's like, if there were a couple more, you know, weeks before we got to merge, Venus probably could have still been gone. But like the fact that they just never went to tribal, she made it by that way. And then I think that did almost help her a little bit because she was scratching and clawing the entire time she was playing. Whereas Tevin, Soda, and Hunter were just sitting pretty the whole time. And I think it did a disservice to that whole tribe that like they had never seen a tribal, never got that experience. And as soon as they got to that stage of merge, they all dropped like flies. I think it was Tevin, Soda, and Hunter went out like all in a row, I think.
Smoked.
Yeah.
So
I think Venus would do fantastic on Australian Survivor, just to put that out there. I think it
what
really
did you think about Venus and how she got along or didn't get along with everybody?
I think she did better towards the end, funnily enough, than the beginning. I think she just wasn't doing herself any favors in the beginning. It's almost like there's a point to be outspoken and there's a point to not be as outspoken that you piss everyone off. And I think she was crossing that line a couple of times, and then she started to learn towards the end. Okay, maybe I just need to focus more on relationships, and if I don't have anything nice to say, just keep it to myself. That's my biggest like advice to anyone going on Survivor. If you're pissed off, just shut your mouth and smile, because like it's not going to do you any favors at all. Like all well and good to be an outspoken person, but if that's not going to make you win, then just keep it shut. So I think she did a lot better towards the end in terms of managing her relationships. She just had a bad run, unfortunately, but. I think it's the dynamics of people. Why I say she do fantastic on Australian Survivor is because nobody would really give a crap half the stuff she would have said or been upset or been emotional. They would have worked with someone like Venus, actually. So it's just the dynamics of people as well. And I think she just got a bad bunch to work around with. So, yeah, that's my opinion on Venus.
Okay.
I'll say, too, like, in the episode that she went out, when she... in her confessionals, that episode too, like I had a moment where I was like, oh, she could win this. The way she's talking now, if she had made that move and played that idol and stayed in the game, I think she had a real shot to the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
I've seen a few people online saying that they love to see Venus play again because they think that like she was kind of smart and like good at picking up on reads and stuff. But she is very young, and maybe it's just a matter of like getting some more experience, maturing a little bit. And I forget the player now that I saw her being compared to, but there were people that were comparing her to a former Survivor player that has played the game now 2 or 3 times, that like the fans could see that each time that this person played, it just got better and better. And I feel like the same thing could happen for Venus.
Yeah.
Was it Parvati?
Could have been. I forget now. I'm totally blanking on what the name was. It could have been though.
It's possible. That's who they compared her to on the show specifically, but that probably was just because she was a pretty girl.
Yeah. Man, the whole thing in this episode, we actually got Maria was crying in the beginning of this episode because she said that Venus was attacking her and attacking her character for talking about how she didn't appreciate the whole play rock, paper, scissors, or make your case about why I should take you on this reward and everything. Did you think that Maria was overreacting a little bit? Like, did Venus say anything really that bad there? It kind of was a shitty thing to do, I thought.
I think there's a few things that we missed, 100%.
Oh, absolutely.
It was definitely not as simple as it was. So I think maybe there was a bit of back and forth and they just didn't put in. But yeah, who knows?
Yeah. It was just funny to me too, because I feel like the person that was most angry about that was probably Liz. That whole fiasco.
Whatever do you mean?
I love Liz. Can I just say I adore
She's wild.
She's amazing. I love her. I want to hug her. I want to take her on every freaking reward, or maybe she can take me. Apparently, she's a millionaire. I adore like characters like Liz. I would love to play with someone. Like
Well,
amazing.
She's fun, but I mean, she doesn't really have a shot to win, right? I mean, like, we're not talking about her.
No.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Well, I will say she does.
I was like, please don't make me co-sign on that argument.
She does still deserve congratulations, though, because we did find out in the most recent episode that she did finally poop.
Oh, that's right.
So
She had
happy
a
for
BM.
her. Love
She had a
that.
BM.
Love that queen.
Have you guys done your winner picks, or was that not done this season?
We did. We had a draft. Yeah, me and Mikey are out.
We did. Yeah, we did like a preseason draft without knowing anything.
Who's left?
These are who our teams were. This was Mikey. He was out first. He had Tim, Brandon, Jess, and Jolinski.
Rough go for me.
A rough
go. I had D last season.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, that's Mikey's. This is my team. I'm also out now. I had, of course, Jem, Venus, Q, and Mariah.
Okay. All right. Yes.
And then Kyle Petty still has Miss Kenzie Petty in the game.
Oh,
I'm still here. I don't think I'm gonna win, but happy to be part of the finale.
You are gonna win, Kyle.
You think so?
Oh,
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
I've got Kenzie as a winner pick as well.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay.
The way things are shaking out, I'm seeing it more as a Charlie or Maria. Like, whoever just gets to the end of the two of them, I think, has the best argument against anyone else. They both have to go, or else I don't think anyone else has a shot.
100%.
I don't know. I think Kenzie's got to. I mean, Mikey also said he thinks that Kenzie's gearing up.
She's been my pick for a while.
But do we still think that? Like, do we really think that Kenzie is playing a better game than Charlie and or Maria?
No.
So maybe if those two don't go, that's why I can't be so confident about a Kenzie win.
There is no way that Charlie or Maria isn't the next one to go. There's absolutely if they are both safe in like the next boot. I know it's all one episode now, but in the next boot, if they're safe, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck is everyone doing?
They're the two I've got left on my team, so I'm like, please.
Still got one left, and that if that other one gets there, you're still ruined. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I also
Gina's
do
team
find
is
it important
stacked.
to note that, Gina did. Where was she in the selection of this? Was she gifted Charlie? Was that a late thing?
No, I believe it or not, I had my
She was
short
first
list of people
pick.
that I wanted. I was the first person to pick, but also in my short list of people that I wanted, that was my top 4. Y'all just didn't end up choosing my people.
Oh, okay.
So I got
Okay.
exactly who I wanted.
Just doing a little check before I start talking shit.
Yeah.
Just want to make
No,
sure we check my facts.
I will say it's true that Gina did pick all of her picks because Maria, I put these all in the order that we picked them. So Maria was Gina's first pick.
Maria was the first person drafted on the season.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then also,
Thank you.
we were left with 2 undrafted players, remember? So Gina did, Gina did pick Charlie before we got to the end also.
Mhm.
Is this always so there's going to be another showdown between Gina and Kyle?
Yeah, that's
Hopefully.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah.
Unless Ben or Liz pulls it out and the undrafted
The undrafted.
wins.
Right.
But
Battle of the Unwanted.
Yeah.
I cannot believe that our 2 undrafted people are in Final 5.
this is insane.
Truly unhinged.
I love this.
We didn't know that we should want them, but
It's so funny.
they've both
I regret-
outlasted me and Mikey's entire teams.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, not this is much of a consolation, in a fake, low budget podcast. But if there was one more round of selections, I would have taken Liz.
Sorry, Ben.
So Liz, if you're out there, sorry, girl, just not enough players.
Just add 2 more. Come on.
But I
for
would
us.
have. Yes.
Man, Ben's really been struggling lately.
Yeah.
Waking up with these night
Sure
terrors.
has.
I did find it funny, the whole, obviously I know he's going through a rough time, but I thought it was funny how he just had a brain fart and voted for Kenzie, and then when he got back to camp was like,
What the hell was
okay,
that?
I just have to say.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
give
man.
Kenzie a lot of credit here because, I wouldn't be so flippant towards this.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, what do you mean, though?
I
I have to do better than that. You have to do better than brain fart for me. Okay.
Because that's not like there were 2 and you just picked the wrong one up or like a multiple choice. You had
Right,
to
you
write
wrote it.
out Kenzie on the paper, and at no point did you say that's not Venus. Like, what are
Right.
you
And
talking
even
about?
if you after you wrote it, even if you said, you know what, oh my gosh, what am I doing? What production said, no, you cannot have another parchment. Of course you couldn't. You had so many opportunities to fix that before you walked out of there. It's not a real thing.
It's a bad mistake. I would believe him. What would worry me is, why is my name on your mind? Who did you have a conversation with? You can't just be thinking
Yes,
about
but
unless I'm really
that means I was
pretty
still-
like me. Why is my name on your mind? I believe him. I genuinely believe him, but I'd be like, okay, what conversation?
You
did
believe
have?
him? Why though? That's certainly not an error you would have made. So
for someone to just be that genuine straight off the bat in a top 6 or 7, to just be like, look, I'm so sorry, I voted for you, when he could have easily just stay hidden in the dark, I think I'd believe him. And just his demeanor, I think I would genuinely believe him, but I'd be like, why my name? What's going on?
Yeah, why were you thinking about me at all?
Yeah.
Maybe Ben is secretly in love with Kenzie and was just had her on the brain and walked in there, I have referred to them as Benzie. I have referred to them as Benzie before, so,
No. I would need to know why my name is at the forefront of your mind, but I could never forget the fact that you wrote it.
Oh, of course.
There's no path forward.
I don't think she will, though. I think, but her options are limited.
I hope
with who
not.
She can work with, and I think she still needs him. So, I don't know. For me, it's like you got to set that aside in order to get to the end.
But the way I'd see it is I can take advantage of this opportunity. This guy really messed up, and he's the only one that messed up. So you owe me one, Ben. So come vote with me.
Yeah, and to be fair, I think I guess in keeping that train of thought, I think it also is smart then that she brought it up at Tribal. So even if there is some world in which the 2 of them are sitting next to each other, it's like this guy all over the place. He doesn't know what he's doing.
He's already implanted. Yeah,
exactly. He's just voting all over the place. He doesn't really know what he's doing. This is a man who played this game with no intention. So you can't give him $1 million. He admitted that he voted wrong. But I just, ugh.
I'd be interested to hear both Liz's and Ben's speeches at Final Tribal Council.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I'd like to know, because look, at the end of the day, I think a lot of it is, part of it is editing. I think who knows what sort of moves they could have done or they would have done. But the fact that they haven't really shown them much just tells me neither of them are winning, and it's just who's left. You got Kenzie, Maria, Charlie.
Yep.
And then Ben, right?
Yeah, Kenzie, Maria, Charlie, Liz, Ben.
Yeah.
I think the only way Kenzie's winning is if she sits next to Ben.
Liz and Ben.
And Liz, yeah.
Yes.
The only way. And that's a pretty easy route to the end, so long as they don't win the challenges. I think it's pretty easy.
That's part of the issue, though, is that Maria and Charlie have been kind of dominating these challenges for the past couple of weeks. They both have multiple reward and immunity challenges under their belt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Go ahead, Chris.
I was just about to just have a little bitch session, if you guys are okay with that.
Sure.
Because I'm not happy with these fucking challenges at all. At all. What is this? It's all the same. There's always okay. Listen. Yeah. It's either you're undoing a knot, you're throwing some sort of bean bag on top of a pole, or something like that, or you're crawling. That's it. It's all the same shit. It's all the same shit the entire time. Always. So long as you're untying a knot or you're throwing something at the end. What is that?
Kyle is humming the national anthem of the
Kyle.
United States.
Who is that?
The wrong national anthem, to be clear.
I'm just like, you know what? I should be fucking hosting Survivor US.
Please.
The next Jeff Prost right here.
Because I don't know. Honestly, every challenge looks the same to me, but just slightly tweaked. Like, get some creativity up there. Like, for us, the last challenge was standing on a wooden peg, really. But they made it look pretty to look at. They turned it, like there were these little things that made it entertaining to watch. This just seems like just another obstacle course. So, I don't know. I've never did, mind you, this is my first US Survivor season. So I've never really seen, the final challenge. Is there a final challenge? Please tell me.
It's usually along the lines of they don't do like the big endurance, like see how long you can do the pain challenge. It's usually like one of the ball challenges, something like that, because they do a final 4 fire making challenge. Yeah.
I just knew he was going to be so disappointed. I knew it. I just knew it.
Pop the ball and you gotta get it the ball, and then you put the more balls in, and like it's like that thing. That's usually the last.
That was our top 5 challenge.
Yep. Yes, it was.
There's not going to be like a big ending, like a massive challenge.
What's so proudly we held.
No, the last thing at Final 4, 2 people go to fire, and that determines who the third person is in the final 3.
Fuck fire!
No, that is the deciding game here. Okay, no way. Fire is life.
Yeah.
It used to be more along the lines of what you get before the new era, seasons 1 through 40. It used to be closer to what Australian Survivor does with that like big challenge at the end, but they just haven't. They changed the rules, they changed the format, and now we get balls.
At what point do they bring the loved ones?
They don't.
Your faces. Nobody wants to answer the question.
Those letters are all you get, babe.
Yeah. Yeah.
We gave you a letter. You expect us to now fly them out here? No way. You're getting at the immediate reunion. What do you mean?
They're only there like 2 weeks, so it's like
right.
Oh my god!
Right. It's funny what you say about the challenges also, because I usually will try to find some like recap to like take some notes and stuff, and like every time I see the way that the challenges are described, whoever writes these recaps are like, and today's immunity challenge was an obstacle course that ended with a puzzle. That's all they use to describe it. That's all.
Every time.
Every single time.
It's funny because we kind of made fun of like that big lizard challenge that they had at the beginning where they were like dragging that massive, but like
That was
at
the most
least at the
involved
very
one.
least, it's memorable and fun
There
to
you go.
watch.
Thank
Like,
you.
Something
say what you
different,
will
yeah.
about a giant lizard, but I remember it.
There
So
you go. 100%. That's what I'm talking about. Like, just put something in it, like
Yeah.
to make it look, more Survivor-esque and less like a carnival game, like someone said. Jenny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does feel like a bunch of carnival games. Anyways, I'm gonna stop hating. I actually do like this season, though.
I know. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Well, that's what something that you said in the beginning is definitely true. Is that the game has gotten infinitely better in the second half than it was in the first, and I think it just took a while for all of us to really get into it because week after week watching it, just being like, "What the hell is going on this season?" It shouldn't take this long, especially when it's the season is this short. It shouldn't take this long for it to get good. Like, and
is this one of the only seasons recently that we didn't get like a last gasp? Am I forgetting it?
I don't
no,
remember.
you're
I
right.
don't think we did have it. Yeah, I don't think we did.
That's like my favorite, and I don't think
because it's the only one that's kind of cool and different.
right.
It makes me itchy. I don't like to watch it, but
It's the only one they also do like internationally too. That's right. Ferris has to get the hell out of here. He has more important things.
Yes, Ferris, thank you so much for joining us. You
so good
are
to
just
see you again.
you're the best. Yeah, you're the
nice
best.
to meet you, man.
Thank you so much for having me. Nice to meet you, Mikey. Hopefully we get to speak again soon. This isn't the last time I'm going to be on here, so just keep that in mind, please. I'm going to come whenever the fuck I want.
Oh, and as you
I'm
should.
right.
Yes.
All right. Love you guys. Take care.
Love you.
Bye,
Bye.
Ferris.
Yeah, man.
That was so fun. This is why we do this, because we get to talk to cool people like that. Ferris really is the best. If you're watching us right now and you haven't seen Ferris's season of Australian Survivor, Titans versus Rebels, go check it out.
On board. Get on
Absolutely
board.
fantastic. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter and stuff actually call it the best season of Survivor ever, any version.
Oh.
So
They're not wrong.
yeah.
Wow.
But wow, I mean, where do we go from here?
I've never spoken to someone that's actually played before. That's crazy.
Oh my
Oh,
god, that's
yeah.
right. Yeah.
I'm buzzing.
You finally made it to one.
I made it.
I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad you got to be here, Mikey.
I'm really glad.
But
too.
yeah.
That was awesome.
What did you say just now, though? The last gasp?
The
Let's
one where
get-
they're like holding on to the grates and the
And
tide,
the tide is coming in.
Oh, I was like, what? Yeah, no, we haven't got that one.
No.
Thank you for the clarification.
Right now.
Thank you.
It's been
Thank
so
you.
long that I didn't even remember what it was called.
It's a shame. It's a shame. I really, really like that one.
Yeah,
That's actually the one challenge that I would want to play. I feel like that's the only one I'd be good at.
Yeah.
I want to play every time. Even the ones that are like carnival games. Every time I'm like, I want so bad to climb on that thing.
But
Whatever it is, I
all
want to
the
play these
yeah.
challenges so bad.
Someone
the
watching-
climbing and the nets, I would absolutely just gas out.
Listen,
But just have
somebody
this
watching this
one-
podcast at some point has to have a connect to get Mikey his dream job of being the person that demos the challenges. We
I
gotta
want to do it. Who's sign me up? I'm ready to go.
Of our
I got my
contacts,
bags
who's
packed.
out
I haven't
there?
unpacked yet.
I want to be a tester.
Oh man. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't even know what to talk about anymore. there was something else that I wanted to if we had, I know Ferris had to run obviously, but there was another topic I wanted to bring up with him, but I still think it could be fun to talk about with us because, it's relevant. We're seeing in this episode now, Maria and Charlie start to target each other, right?
Mhm.
It just feels like it's so late in the game. And it makes me feel like I wish our seasons were longer. We had more time with these people because I feel like this could have even been the sort of relationship that like Ferris and Kirby had. You know what I mean? And that's why I kind of wanted, I would have wanted to get Ferris's opinion on if the game was longer, maybe if Charlie and Maria had tried to take a shot, one of them tried to take a shot earlier, maybe they have to try to work together, then maybe they target each other again. Maybe we could have gotten something similar to that. And I wish that our version was longer. That's all.
Yeah, it is interesting to see where they're going to go from here now, though, because Charlie took the shot and landed it today. But they're both still. But Maria took the shot at the same time on Charlie and didn't land. But they're both still in the game. So I'm very curious to see where we go from here with that relationship. Still,
Right. That was where I was going to go with this. There is a part of me, a very large part of me. I love a relationship like this going into a final. So like it does make things a lot more interesting. I feel like the stakes are a little bit higher. It also makes the game feel a little bit more open. Depending on how some of this is driven. This is a moment that like maybe if Kenzie can really say that she was a part of the movement to get Charlie out or the movement to get Maria out, that bolsters our resume, especially if you get the other one out, because we know that it's Charlie and Maria. So in the situation where, maybe Maria goes and then Charlie goes right after, now Kenzie has some room to make some argument that she was a major driver in that instead of just like a supporting player.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I would argue based on what we saw in this episode, there is more. I would argue that Kenzie has a claim to the Q vote. Because from what we saw, she was the first person to throw his name out there on the island.
Yeah. She planted that seed a long time ago, and she's been watering it for a long time, just waiting. Where's my sprout?
Yeah, I would argue that she has more right to this vote than Charlie does, even though it will probably be framed as Charlie's move.
I see. It's interesting too because I feel like in a way Charlie was trying to cover his tracks a little bit in this, and that's why he went to Maria and said, "I'm voting for Q." Because if he hadn't said anything, and the vote just turned out to be Q, I feel like Maria would have been like, "What the hell? Did you have something to do with this?" But the fact that he was like, "Everybody's telling me Q," and meanwhile Maria's going telling everybody Charlie, like. It almost, the way this turned out almost made it look like Maria tried to take a shot that missed and that Charlie was just voting for Q like he thought he was supposed to do.
Yep.
Like
Charlie was following the group.
Right. Like it doesn't feel to me so much like this might be framed as like Maria's so pissed because Charlie took a shot. He literally just did what he said he was going to do.
But it will be Charlie's pissed because Maria took a shot. Right.
That's why I feel like Charlie might even come out ahead here.
Yeah, that's very possible. I don't know. It is so open right now. It could go with Charlie, Maria, and Kenzie. It could go 100 different ways. Ben and Liz are really out of this game. They may make it to the final 3, but they are out of the game.
Yeah, they might have a seat there. They don't really have a voice in this conversation. Yeah, that's kind of over. I could still see Charlie having a rough go initially if Maria wins another immunity.
Yeah.
He is a clear person.
He said too. Maria's one win away from breaking the record for a female player for immunity wins.
Oh.
Or is it tying it? I thought he said he was.
Is it tying it? Oh yeah, to join the camp, not breaking it. You're right.
Yeah.
So,
but although I will say with one caveat, I think Jeff did point out that this season was shorter than those other seasons. So I guess in a way it technically is still more impressive because if you're winning the same amount in a shorter amount of time. Yeah. So
the one pro that we can list from having a shorter season is that my alleged shorter resume really does. It actually does mean
carries
something.
More weight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I do feel like a lot of the time that we're missing, like a lot of that extra time is on the beginning half of the game. I don't think we're losing a lot in the second half because we're still the jury size. And like, I feel like the amount of people that have made it to merge hasn't lessened so much. It's the amount of people we lose before we get to merge. Does that make sense?
I think I agree with. Yeah, I think I agree with that. That sounds
so. Like, it doesn't feel like there's. I mean, there definitely are less immunity challenges of individual immunities than there used to be. But I think there's a more significant difference in the first half of the game rather than the second half. Because it's like I was saying. I said this a couple weeks ago. How it feels less impressive to make it to the merge.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I want to play devil's advocate, but I got nothing.
Kyle's favorite game.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Yeah, I think so. Because I wanted to say, well, maybe, it's a little bit different because when you're dealing with playing a game with smaller numbers, your odds of winning are higher. But we weren't talking individual immunity at that stage either. So one can't argue the smaller tribe size as something. That's what I wanted to work, but I found holes. Searching.
Great
searching,
movie.
nothing.
Great movie. Great book.
Holes.
Oh, is that Disney movie?
With Shia LaBeouf.
I
It's
never
a
saw it.
fantastic
I'm
movie.
tired
I
of
never
this
saw it.
Actual
grandpa.
cannibal Shia
Well, that's
LaBeouf.
too damn
baby.
bad.
I can fix that.
Oh, you have to watch Holes.
It's so
great.
good, Kyle.
Have you never seen Holes?
I never saw holes. No.
Oh, it's so good.
I've seen less of holes than I have of The Little Mermaid.
Listen, if I'm coming over this weekend, I might make you watch Holes.
Do it.
No,
Me too.
that will not be possible because I do not have the Disney Plus.
We can
Find a
sign in
way.
on my account.
No, it doesn't work. It's blocked.
I think you're a liar.
Not Kyle being anti-holes.
I am never anti.
A lot of use of the word hole here.
I know. I'm pro Holes personally.
I am
Depends what
also
kind.
pro hole.
You are so stupid.
I hate you all.
Oh, wow.
my God.
Oh,
It
that
really
was very stupid.
It really does depend on the hole at the end of the day.
That was very stupid.
It definitely does.
Ooh.
It definitely does.
Okay, well,
Wow.
With
Okay.
that,
I feel like we talked a lot with Ferris, and we did kind of touch on, I feel like, most of what happened in the episode.
we did.
It was pretty straightforward, the episode. I felt like the tribal council, as far as tribals have gone in this season, I thought was pretty boring, to be
Yeah,
honest.
Yeah.
This was a more straightforward one for sure.
Yeah. So before we look at our the point charts that Mikey provides us with so nicely, does anyone have anything else for this episode in particular?
No.
I've said my piece.
Yeah, the only
had a
other
good
thing that I don't know that it's really worth even discussing, but I feel like, because I was spoiled by the episode before I watched it, and I feel like I heard a lot of people talking about Maria's reaction to the selections for the reward. And given the way that people were talking about it, I was led to believe that she was on a freaking tear, pissed off at Charlie, because people were like, Maria, you're not allowed to be upset. You just went on 2 reward challenges. Now you didn't get this one. What the hell? And then I watched the episode and I'm like, all right, wait a second. It's not that she's upset that she wasn't chosen for the reward. She's upset that she didn't hear from her kid. That is such a different thing to be upset about. I don't know why everybody on social media was so mad about this.
I also if you compare her reaction to the way Liz reacted, she
Night and day.
She was trying with every fiber of her being not to make a big deal out of it. It really felt like there was a genuine effort there to try to squash whatever emotion she was feeling. And then we hear in her confessionals after the fact, she was literally clarifying. She's like, I am not mad at Charlie. We talked about this.
Yeah,
he made the
multiple
right
times.
choice. He did this right. I'm not upset about this. I'm upset because it's this. But at the end of the day, she moved on, you know?
Seeing the way that Twitter was talking about it, I thought that she was so out of line. And then I watched the episode. I was like, this is what everyone was talking about?
Right.
I don't think so.
I actually I felt like I was underwhelmed by the whole Maria thing, because we saw that moment where she goes, something died in me today. We saw that in the next on before. And so I'm thinking, I'm like, oh, wow, something crazy is going to happen. Charlie's going to betray her and she's going to find out and she's going to be so upset. And then I'm like, oh, all right. She's just upset she didn't hear from her kids.
Yeah,
Right.
totally understandable.
Yeah. It's just a bummer. It's a bummer.
Yeah.
But all right, so let's look at these teams. Well, we pulled up our teams already, so here's the point chart. Ben's not really doing much for us lately, Gina.
No, he's not.
Damn.
I would like to point out there were quite a few cry points on this episode. There was a lot of tears going on.
Yes.
So we got tears from Kenzie, we got tears from Liz, we got tears from Maria and Charlie. This is I think back to you actually. There's a lot of those 1-pointers are for tears.
Sure.
Maria cried so much I had to give it to her a couple times.
I love how on his way out, Q provided my team with half a point.
You know what?
Hey,
You're
at least
lucky
he
he
gave
didn't
you
give you-
something on the way out.
You're lucky he didn't take points away because a lot of the people getting voted out end up with negative points.
Yeah,
Right,
no.
you
that's
voted
so
out
fair.
with an idol. That's a pretty big hit.
Yeah.
And he was able to withstand that and still give you half a point.
Mhm.
You should be celebrating this man.
A net
What-
positive.
What his saving grace is that he's so charming in those confessionals that we hear from him quite a lot.
Yeah.
Mm.
So he always gets a lot of confessional points. I think Hunter, Charlie, and Kenzie are the top 4 for confessionals.
That
Oh, okay.
tracks.
Yeah. All right, and then I guess let's look at everybody's season. Maria and Charlie really have just dominated this game. Look at that.
Well, what's interesting is this is the first time that it's been Kenzie at the top for weeks,
That's right. Yeah.
and this is the first time Maria and Charlie have overtaken her.
It's because I'm
Well,
not
it's
going to
probably-
win.
I mean, you don't know, Kyle.
I don't know, but oof.
I'm rooting for Kenzie. She's my favorite one.
There's a road to the end for you.
Also, unrelated, I saw an article. Kenzie is gonna be a mom.
Yes.
Yes, congratulations.
Oh,
I-
wow.
I feel she feels very motherly to me. I feel like she's gonna be a great mother.
She if memory serves, announced it on Mother's Day on her
Yeah.
socials.
Mhm.
Right.
Good for her.
I feel like I've liked Kenzie the whole game, but she's just gone up further and further up in my book as the season's gone on. Like,
And she didn't take any hits either.
Mhm.
Sometimes you like somebody in the beginning, and like you come into it with a lot of hesitance, right? Like, I'm like, I don't want you to embarrass me later on. But like it never happened. Like she didn't really do anything that ever really like bothered me. I wish she didn't start making moves against Tiff, but that's only because I also like Tiff. I just didn't want that to be. But like she didn't do it in a bad or unclassy way. Like,
And the only vote made against her was accidental. So like no one on the tribe dislikes her either.
yeah,
Mhm.
definitely great socially.
She does have it's interesting. Yeah, she does have a lot of grace with it's always classy what she does. It feels like.
Yeah, I like her.
She did fumble with that fake idol with Jess towards the beginning, but I'm willing to forgive and forget there.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's so long ago now that
She was just excited to play the game. She wanted to play the game. I get it.
Which I did see. I don't remember if it was this week or last week, but Jess had tweeted and she was like, "This is what y'all get for trying to get me with the fake idol bullshit earlier on in the game." Because everybody keeps going out with idols in their pockets. I was like, yes.
Was Kenzie the main driver of that though? Wasn't it more Q?
I really
Or
don't
was it
remember.
Kenzie.
Well,
It was
Kenzie
huh?
and Tiffany like came up with the plan. Q had to complete it because Jess never found the
Okay.
fake idol that they planted.
It was Kenzie's idea though. She was the one that built the idol.
Wow, I always remembered that as a Q thing. Maybe because he was the one who closed it, but yeah, I just always remember that as like a Q move, and I thought that was the beginning of his chaos. You know?
And now that we just talked about that whole fake idol with Jess, that's the only idol that was played this season, right? It was a fake idol.
And you know what? Good on Jess. Good on Jess for playing it.
Yeah, for knowing, for having a read on the situation and saying, "I'm in trouble. Here's an idol." It might have been a fake idol, but she did it.
The only idol to be played the entire season was one that was fake. That's hysterical.
Unbelievable.
What a headline.
The Venus one kills me especially because Venus has been on NQ, but like Venus has been on the outs for weeks. She's always getting votes. Play the idol.
The Venus one hurt me because we saw in the episode, she said to, I think, Maria, "Oh, that was so shitty what happened to Tiff. I would hate to be the one that went out with an idol in my pocket." And then literally like 20 minutes later, off she goes. I was like, you just said it.
And again, I like genuinely believe that if she had played that idol and kept herself in the game and made that move, picked whoever was leaving that episode, I think she had a genuine shot at the million.
Yeah.
Such a shame.
I don't think it's shot at the million.
I think after that,
I think she could have gotten to the end, but I still don't believe people like her too much. Like
I don't know, but being the only one to correctly play an idol the entire season is
I think
rooting for her. Like I'm not saying they're bitter against her, but I think they're just like
But like then you get momentum from that though too, and my thought process is she makes that move, she's able to then continue to play the game in a way that the other people aren't. And I feel like what we've seen in the new era from my perspective is that like it's pretty much every winner has been about who played the best game rather than I like this person the best.
Mm-hmm.
I hear
the
that.
personal feelings tend to go to the wayside.
I don't disagree, but do we think that necessarily applies to Venus and her game? Because up until that point, that would really be the only discernible move in their eyes that she did successfully. So when you already have like a distaste that is of an emotional fashion, not one that was really game based, if you only have one big game move, is that enough to shift the emotion?
I don't know, because from there, they might respect her more, and then she could pull in more numbers and be at the forefront of a little bit more moves in the end game, you know?
I feel like it would have to be one more thing then after that.
You probably would.
You can't just play your idol successful once, because that's also still a roll the dice in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're going to have to do something else if you really want to cement that.
I do think that her playing that idol, though, could have kind of springboarded her. Because that could have been a good way to get, into the finale, potentially. And I feel like we're seeing, like, the jury wants to see somebody play an idol correctly.
Yeah,
every time at the end of an episode.
Do they want to see Venus do it? That's where I'm coming from.
Well, I mean, you could argue that Q is just as unpopular as Venus amongst the tribe, except maybe with Maria. And during this episode, Q got evicted.
This is not exclusive to Venus.
No.
A lot of this can be said for Q too, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But the reason that I think that people would look at it as a good move for Venus and respect it is because even with how Q went out in this episode, he left, and the camera immediately cut to the jury, and Soda went, "Nobody played anything." Like
nothing.
Nothing. Like So I
They're
feel
looking
like
for
at
a
this
move.
point,
Yeah.
I almost think at this point, like, they don't feel like anybody, maybe outside of Maria or Charlie, has done enough.
I don't even think from their. I would imagine from their perspective, it doesn't even really look like Maria and Charlie are doing all that much. Because yes, Charlie moved against Maria, and Maria missed the shot against Charlie. But the move against Maria was actually a move against Q, which has been a popular, like idea to get him out since Merge literally started. So it's. I don't think it looks like people keep saying, "Oh, this is the biggest blindside of the game." Like, but is it? I don't. None of these blindsides have been particularly shocking.
The only reason I would think the jury would rank Charlie and Maria higher is because they keep showing up to tribal with the necklace around their neck.
That's fair.
But
they do. But I also think that they are in very, very. Even it's really hard to discern how big the blind side is right now. I think because of how logical they think, everything that they do does have some intention. It leads me to believe that when you get to this final speech, they're going to be able to do a very good job of explaining some of those things. So it may not right now look like the biggest blindside of the season, but I think that when we get to final speech time, we're going to be able to properly frame it as. And I think they would both be very good at doing that.
I would agree with that. They both do tend to be very good speakers.
Yeah. I can't wait I kind of want it to really be them and who cares who else. I would love to see how they both, because I think they also have an interesting road here because their games are very aligned. So if there's a version of this where one of them doesn't go home and they're sitting next to each other, what have each of you done that is separate from the other? Those speeches would be so exciting to watch.
Which also, in theory, could be Kenzie's path,
I was just going to say, I do think the two of them and Kenzie would be a tight race in the final.
Yeah, I don't think we get a one person with a 0 vote in that situation.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah,
especially if Kenzie were. I mean, do you guys think, because the idols usually last until there's 5 people, so there's a chance that they could hide it again, right?
They will. There will be an idol, right?
Okay. So like what if now potentially right? Like, let's say if we think Kenzie might have like a little bit of a path, like what if like from here she were to find the idol, play it correctly, maybe win one of the last immunity challenges? Like, does she now start to have more of a case against Charlie and Maria?
Well,
think
any idol correctly played is going
Right.
to just give a huge boost because the jury is thirsting.
Which,
Yeah,
if
and
someone
this-
finds an idol in this episode, you only have this episode to play it. If you don't
Just
do it,
play
I'll
it, but
jump
you
off
know
the
I'm
cliff.
going to save it. You know, we'll just keep
in this
playing.
season, a correctly played idol is a game-winning move. I would argue.
Honestly, just a played idol would make people cheer.
Idol.
An idol.
Yeah. Oh man. Wow.
Wowie.
I realized I pulled up the season total points for the castaways. I realized I didn't pull up the episode totals by accident. But yeah, we have Maria with 24, Charlie with 20.
She's down to
Yeah.
25. So you scoffed at Q. He's the only one who got you anything.
No, that's what I said. I said
Right.
that was my gift from Q on the way out. Remember, I said he gave me
Yep.
half a point in this episode.
Maria and Charlie, they
That's-
keep winning those immunities, which keeps
I'm
boosting
looking
Gina up to the top.
real
Oh, Gina's
good.
already won
Ridiculous.
this. It's over. I can't,
Oh,
you
yeah.
can't be there. You can't be there.
Here's
It's
here's
over.
the season totals for
Yes.
the
Look
teams.
at this. Look at this. Look at
Woof.
this.
I'm just listen. I'm happy I broke 300. I
Congratulations.
take that as
You had a win too. I don't even have a win.
Ooh.
I don't have one win.
Your
I have
draft.
one draw. I'm
Listen,
Listen.
I am still the only one of the three of us that's never won a draft. I want to take this so bad.
Team Petty Marmon is at least doing better than Morgino Dunphy. You got
is
that.
True. That is
True.
true.
yeah.
Right?
by the skin of our
Yeah.
teeth, but we're winning.
Honestly,
Hey, a
honestly,
dupya is a dupya.
there's a good chance here that I will be the only person not to win something here, because Gina could win the whole draft, and then Kyle and Mikey could win the battle of the unlimited draft picks, and then I'm the only loser.
The one draft that had multiple paths to success, you ended up on none. Sorry, man.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, it's
man.
rough, you know. What can I say? That's
It might not happen. Though. It might not happen.
I'm just so curious though to see how this is going to shake out. Like where we
I
go
also-
from here.
I think it is so funny that we have 4 teams in the finale, but 2 of those teams are the unwanteds.
I literally cannot fathom that they're both still here.
Ridiculous. I love Ben to death. What is he doing here?
Yeah, he
Let's
really,
go to show that we're missing a lot
We have to be.
because I don't even really know him. You know,
Even
I
like
just-
people on Twitter, like this poor man. I enjoy Ben. Ben is fun, but everyone on Twitter like will post his headshot and be like, "Literally, who is this? I've never seen this person on the show. I don't know
right?
who is
It's
this
a
person."
shame.
That's interesting though, because I feel like he does have a fairly large presence on the show. Like I don't know.
I think
But in
early
terms of
on,
game or just in terms of being a person, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't play a lot, but like I feel like we get a lot from him. Like we get like the that does not rock. Like I feel like we do get a lot from him. Like within the moments. I don't know.
You think so? Oh.
He doesn't.
I
He doesn't
just-
get confessionals a lot
yeah.
anymore.
he doesn't get confessionals a lot, and I feel like in the beginning of the season we were getting whole segments of him and Charlie having a song
Song
off
battles
and
and
this and
yeah.
that. Like I felt like we were getting a lot of Ben, and that's why we were also like, "Oh my god, we love Ben." And I just feel like the last few episodes we haven't gotten as much from
Yeah.
him, and maybe some of that has to do with the fact that it seems like everybody's saying he's like wasting away out there.
Yeah,
So,
he's struggling.
yeah.
He is.
but
Poor guy.
honestly, thank God he's got Kenzie out there because she's been great. Great.
Yeah, so that's why he wanted to
comforting,
get her out.
I mean, listen.
Yeah.
If Ben's on the jury and Kenzie's sitting up in the final 3, and he doesn't give her a vote, that's kind of fucked up.
too.
I
Yeah,
think he owes her.
100%.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Yeah.
But all right. Do we have anything else? I mean, the next on is that the finale's next. So
Hey.
3 hours.
Oh,
yeah.
that is 3 hours. Yeah.
It's a long night.
Oh,
man.
man.
I actually forgot that.
Yeah.
This week is going to kick my ass with work. I have the Megan Thee Stallion concert tomorrow night.
Oh, damn.
Ooh.
Rangers Eastern Conference Finals on Wednesday. So I'm going to have to watch this episode at some point on Thursday because it won't be up yet when
Me
I get
too.
home.
Yeah.
So, God damn it. All right. But I think that's all I got. Anybody have anything else for the benefit of the community?
No, this is a super
All right.
fun night. Great
It
conversation.
really was.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It was a
Good
fun night.
time. Good time.
So what do we have coming up? We're not done yet for this week, right? This Thursday at 8 p.m. We'll be doing the most recent episode of the Challenge All Stars 4. And then Thursday, did we, Mikey, have we talked to you about Thursday? Are you available Thursday to talk Survivor 46 finale? We figured with
Let me check my schedule.
We figured this Monday
Let me
coming up Memorial
see.
Day. You know, it's Memorial Day.
Thursday. Yes, still unemployed. Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay, to be fair, you just got off a tour. Let's not make it like you're
That's
unemployed.
True. I do also like I have another month of tour left in the fall, but
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's still
but
booked.
I'm off for 3 months with no pay. I get to keep my health insurance though.
Love that.
Hey,
That's huge.
Love that. That's a win.
big. That's big. That's
Very
big.
big deal.
In this country, it's really
Yeah.
big.
I got root canals to get.
Oh,
that's really exciting. But all right, this has been another episode of Strat Chat, your favorite reality TV podcast. So find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod. Okay, we're out there on all the social media platforms, so come hang out with us. I think that's it, right? Am I forgetting something? I don't know why this feels so weird right now. All right,
No.
I'm done. Oh wait, I did forget something.
On Monday.
All right, now we can go.
That was necessary. This is the last Monday for a while, you know.
Yeah.
So
goodbye
Monday nights. Goodbye.
And goodbye to you all out there this evening. We thank you for joining us.
Welcome.
Lido.